Well, let's see if he's going to be that guy for VP within this game. Let's see if we get some loud cheers coming out. But let's go over to the Complexity boys over in the commentary.
Oh, the Complexity boys. We're the Complexity boys.
Yeah, well, you are North American, Jason.
Yeah.
And you know, and I picked Complexity to win, and we'll see if it works out for us today.
Welcome to the good guys.
You know, live on the edge a little bit sometimes. But VP, they're starting T-side Anubis, so more signs point to a decent start here for VP. We'll have to wait and see as Holzerk's about to set up Elige and Floppy.
I like this, though. A coordinated aggression from Complexity to open the pistol, so it's going to be a lot of information. And actually, Grim calls off the flashbang. It comes in a little bit late just as he's about to swing, but they have all the information. But this noise has equally given VP all the intel they need to know. They now know Complexity has pushed into canals, has taken over that portion of the map, and VP's going to pause and wait because Complexity cannot maintain that aggression. They either have to keep pushing or fall all the way back. And now VP can feel like they have the map a little bit more secure.
Yeah, all this splishing and splashing in the water.
Splish, splash, I was taking a bath.
Not familiar with that song, but it was good. It sounded nice.
It's old but gold.
And Floppy, certainly not that yet, but he's going to be looking to try and use this USP to devastating effect. It's electronic to take out Floppy quite easily.
Oh, what do they do? Okay, Elige just starts rushing with the Julies. So Complexity stayed so parked at the B bomb site with numbers. Floppy was alone at A, and that's why he peeks middle, because he has no one gathering that information. Elige actually thinks they realize the other bomb site is empty, which is why he was so crazy with that swing. And now we've got a retake scenario.
Complexity have Grim taking the first steps, and he is forced away. Not exactly the impact Grim was hoping for, but he's still around. He's still kicking about. And they've got to get into this one now. It's Complexity kicking to gear. They're going to be charging back into the site. 3 players for Virtus.pro inside of the bomb site itself. And they're dishing out headshots, but Complexity hand them right back. And suddenly only Fame playing out towards main. He's got himself a powerful position to try and stop this defuse, but JT's the bodyguard, and he will make it work out. Holzerk on that defuse, and Complexity back in for a successful retake right at the final moments.
That's a massive retake, especially when you consider Grim gets spotted and eliminated pretty early on the flank. Usually that player will stay a little bit more hidden than Grim did and wait for the main thrust of that retake to come in before trying to allow a moment of hesitation from the main player to kind of turn his attention forward. But this is just good shooting from JT as he swings in. This was a nice shot right here.
Yeah, some sick shot. This one, that was the key to get back into it. And JT, the bodyguard, defending his teammate on that defuse. Great work from JT. And that is Complexity up with the first in the CT. And we know how important the CT pistol can be on Anubis.
Oh, we know how important the plant can be even in a loss for the T side. So they've bought right back up into this. 4 Galils and a Tech 9 on Jame, who's filled up utility.
Not quite as effective as it once was.
Well, maybe if they push into you, good 1-for-1, but Elige is going to come out on top and smartly, wisely backs away and preserves the advantage.
An extra year doing him wonders as Elige now backs into the A-bomb site safely, knowing that he has done some massive work here for Complexity. They are a player up, and Virtus.pro are going to try and dip their toes in the waters at B. The double setup between JT and Grim, and that smoke will buy them an extra few seconds, but Norbert, oh, he's not going to respect it. He's going right through it.
Yeah, oh, and it's just turned. Grim found the information. He knows JT is there as well. Good trade, but still a lot of pressure. And this is where things get really weird playing against VP. This is where you don't really know what the map looks like in your head of where the VP players are, and this is where they can do some of their best work. 50 seconds to move around the map quietly and try and find a gap.
Jame is moving through the water quite quickly. He's already towards dark, and he will soon realize that no one is inside of dark. He can feel comfortable getting closer and now grouping up with electronic.
And look, see Complexity, they have no intel. They're trying to cover the whole map at the moment.
This is going to be hard for Holzerk, but he is going to spot the head of Jame first. Holzerk now calling, trying to delay and run the clock down, but it is going to be pretty effective from electronic. But JT, once again, finding impact here for Complexity in back-to-back rounds. Jame goes down, and electronic into the clutch. A 1v2. He is so comfortable in these kind of scenarios, but he doesn't have all the information. He's trying to figure out where the other remaining Complexity player is coming from, but he's found himself a pretty powerful position inside of dark for this post plant. Electronic would love to separate this into 1v1 fights and good angle selection. He's taken out Elige, and JT just chases after him. What a hot start from JT, and that is going to be 2-0 for Complexity.
Yeah, but no time to be relieved if you're Complexity. Happy to win it, of course, but you lose 4 players and VP gets another bomb plant. This is going to be another bye. They're coming right back into this with rifles again, VP, you have to imagine, and Complexity still going to be under a lot of pressure to continue trying to convert these rounds with their economy at a breaking point as well. Back-to-back rounds, the pistol in this second round where Complexity showed their willingness to push out of the A bomb site and take control of water, take control of canals, and at least have information on the map. VP is going to have to be wise to that moving forward, and there's the buy. 2 AKs this time where they had none in the previous round, and a couple of Galils.
Trying quick to get down in water. They're going to be applying pressure relatively early onto JT's position. There's no sign that they're coming. It's going to be very dry. Just a straight up fight into JT, and he isn't missing at the start of Anubis. That is 2 kills collected. He's up to 8-0. And he is defending this bomb site easily for Complexity.
And this is great if you're Complexity, because this was one of the strengths in the early days of CS2. At the end of CSGO, JT was on a streak where he was logging big game performances for you. Really, really solid in the clutch, and he's become a very, very solid in-game leader. So he puts up a performance like this, and it is a huge benefit to the Complexity squad.
Yeah, you think back to Sydney, the first real tournament we had was CS2, and Complexity make it all the way to the final, and JT was a big part of that. And Floppy, he goes down to Fame. So one of those kills pulled back for Virtus.pro, and there is 50 seconds still remaining in this round.
That's a kind of death that's really painful to take if you're Floppy, really frustrating because, again, against a team like VP in this scenario, just giving up a contact peek to Fame is like you realize you've opened an opportunity. Another door has opened for them to come back into this round.
Here comes James close. Oh, it's a good angle there for Grim. This gets the timing on the jiggle. Mass will remove James, effective trade from Fame, but he's still going to come into the 2-man setup, and JT and Elige easily crush it. That's 3 3Ks for JT in 3 rounds.
And that's finally going to calm things down. No plants, not enough damage to the economy of Complexity to warrant a buy for Virtus.pro, so I'll have to sit back with maybe a half buy, some upgraded pistols and armor, but Complexity have converted and sustained themselves through the early going of Anubis. Give us a little bit of a chance to kind of chat a little bit. The desk had a lot of conversations. I know like the map veto process kind of bested them. Complexity not going for any kind of a vertigo, allowing VP to ban that out in the last rotation in the veto process. I mean, it's got to be, if you're Complexity preparing for this match, this is like sneakily like a really tough match to kind of prepare for and kind of get a sense of what to expect, because you know VP's in this kind of this morphosis phase in this team where they're trying to figure out exactly how Electronic style and philosophy and theory and his desires are going to work with James' theories and philosophies and how he likes to play the game. And that was the conversation that James had in interviews and kind of discussed is we have 2 very different styles, and we're trying to figure out how to make it work entirely to be able to challenge for trophies. And they weren't able to do it on the fly during the first season of the year because it's just a packed schedule. It's so hard to find time to just buckle down and make those adaptations. The player break is perfect for it. So if you're Complexity, you're like, we don't know what the hell this team is going to look like or come out with.
And Floppy dishes out 2, stops that attack from Virtus.pro. Electronic inside the middle catches Grim trying to rotate and be of assistance to his teammates, but it's going to be a long road to get back into this if you're Electronic. James, patience is about to pay off on Holzerk, but he's unable to capitalize on his chance, and Holzerk will drop him and the bomb. Electronic not able to get rid of the immortal JT. Interesting way, in that interview you're mentioning with James, he was saying how Electronic likes to call a lot. He's very vocal, and that's something that's actually affected James calling. But he said it actually feels like it makes him maybe slightly better individual. Like he can focus on his AWPing a bit more.
Yeah, that was a very interesting part of the interview as well. I have here. I'll read it. He says, in James' words, "There is Captain AWPer and AWPer Captain. I used to be the former, so my sniper roles came second. But now we need to make sure I'm a sniper first, and then I'm a captain because we have a player who can help make that happen." So trying to look at the strengths of Electronic, who's got in-game leading experience, who's a very vocal player, a very commanding player, a player who likes to take initiative in different situations, and saying, yeah, we clash a lot on theory and in terms of how we want to call as a team, but his skill set also allows me to focus more on my individual game. And it'll be interesting to watch that develop and see if VP and Jame and Electronic can make this all work.
And for Complexity, it's very interesting to see him not go for the Vertigo pick, because it was very obvious going into Dallas that Vertigo was a map they were incredibly reliant upon. That was kind of one of the last events they had before the break, obviously. And you might not want to be a team, given the changes of Vertigo, that is too reliant on that map in particular. So some changes for Complexity for the future, and hopefully it'll make them stronger long term.
JT trying to show the AK-47 at E-Box and trying to bait them into a swing against the AWP, but Virtus.pro's not falling for it early. I mean, just like VP had all the time during this break to try and start figuring out the Jame Electronic clashes, I think Complexity equally, as you just mentioned, would have to look at their reliance on Vertigo as a weakness and find a way to deepen the map pool and make that a high priority.
Electronic taking some damage from the fire. He's down to 49, but he's gained space, and that's what matters right now for Virtus.pro. He'll then drop away, knowing that it is clear, knowing from Complexity is that far pushed up, so Virtus.pro can start to adjust and put their pieces in position outside of this A bomb site. Currently the setup designed to deal with this threat is Floppy within the site, playing from Fountain as he's so often spotted, and the Liege close out towards camera. But Floppy is now going aggressive, and perhaps at the wrong time, because he's caught by Fame, and now this is a Liege under so much pressure at the back of the bomb site himself. He decides he has to fight, he has to peek, and a Liege gets a double before going down to the hand of Flit, and Grim, quick rotation over towards Heaven, stops that plant without taking the player out, and the grenade lands for extra damage, but it's not enough to remove players from Virtus.pro yet. Grim eventually getting one, but it's not enough, and it's all on Halzerk, and he is not close to the site. He's on that backside, just watching A main.
No, a long, grindy battle that Complexity could never really get a grip on, even with Elijah's double kill. To bring it into a 3v3, not able to convert anything else, and Halzerk way too far to the action, as you mentioned. No point in going for it. If Jame wasn't able to find that pick, maybe Halzerk's able to creep a little bit closer. But at this point, if you're Halzerk, you know you're not going to get any kind of a mistake. There's no reason to risk the op trying to go for this 1v2. And Virtus.pro is going to get their first round on the board.
Yeah, Liege, rather Floppy seems to be struggling a little bit in those initial A fights. This round just getting caught in sort of transition, moving forward.
I don't necessarily mind that play. Obviously, I think it'd be cool if there was a second player there to kind of double up on it, but it did give information over to Elige. It was like kind of an early warning with how advanced it was, allowed Elige to kind of have time to settle into the bomb site and make a decision on what kind of a play he wanted to make, whether he wanted to swing or play it passively. I think he was worried about Molotov streaming into the bomb site as well, which is why he goes wide.
Oh, good play forward this time from Floppy. This aggression works out. And Jame is caught at the bottom of the stairway looking towards Dark.
I wonder how much that Molotov actually affected Virtus.pro from taking their eyes off that, because we've seen that aggression, what, 3 or 4 times out of the 5 rounds that have been played so far. And that Molotov was deep enough to provide a little bit of a gap for Floppy to take that peek. No one from VP looking for it, and here's another flash piece of aggression. Complexity being very, very mobile on this map, making plays, gathering information.
It's got a lively pep in their step at the moment.
I like it.
It's exciting to watch. Flit just about dodging those flames. But it does mean that JT and Grim have got comfortable control of Dark. A deep smoke, allowing the likes of Flit to play in and around it, and Elige absolutely destroying Electronic in middle.
Yeah, and that allows Halzerk to rotate over and shift towards the B bomb site and be that third defender here to shore up that defense. It allows Elige to shift over towards the A bomb site. They know there was a good 10 seconds where no one was going to be attacking mid.
30 seconds left in the round. The bomb is dropped top middle. There's not a whole lot of control anywhere on the map right now for VP. Is it going to be a save call? Because there's just nothing they can do here.
It is. It's entirely a save call. I mean, maybe if something earlier if they'd been in a little bit of a better position to make a play, but you don't even have that first step of map control. Look at where the 2 deaths they've taken are, deep in middle and deep over at the stairs from an A peak.
5-1. This is a 5-round start for Complexity on the CT side of Anubis.
Might be time for a timeout.
This is not the only game currently on here at the EWC. We got Spirit making their debut performance, and they're playing against MIBR. It's going very well for Spirit. I think a lot of people are expecting them to start the second season of the year strong. And Donk, well, hasn't slowed down. He's top fragging.
Yeah, why not?
As many would expect.
Yeah, get into it.
I'd imagine he's one of the young players that probably didn't take much of a break from playing during the player break.
He's still in grind mode, right? He's in his grinding years. I miss those years.
Oh, so long ago.
Oh, so long ago. Well, Electronic staring through his monitor. Snaps out of it.
Deep in thought.
There's a little bit of a tech pause in the server, called by Complexity.
I mean, we talk about this VP's team, and we've seen the move of Electronic joining the squad, and many people instantly calling it like a super team. There's going to be a super team. And then you realize it's maybe not going to work, but perhaps it will never work. There is a possibility that could happen, right? The fact that, you have some great pieces, but maybe they don't fit the machine, if that makes sense. Like, there could be a point where maybe it just never works out, Jason.
Well, I mean, look, that's a point, again, that was made in that interview with James. James, great for a really good, insightful interview. He doesn't pull his punches with how he talks about the situation at all. And he was just like, we realized immediately upon him joining that if we stayed the same, it wasn't going to work. We were never going to fit a player like Electronic into my system, into the way we were playing the game at the time. We knew immediately that we needed to adapt. And they haven't really found a solution yet. Good find from Flit. Alige didn't realize one had gotten past, and that's Flit saying, enough with this aggression. I got the good spawn. I'm going to make it behind the boxes before anyone realizes it, and I'll be there to negate any of those peaks.
It didn't look like Halzerg was quite posted up in time either to get that trade in. Oh, I need to be careful here. JT gets away before Norbert can take him out.
I like that attitude from Flit, denying one of the main points of this Complexity defense they've seen so far, these aggressive plays. Floppy's coming through. First player was blinded, but Flit swings off of it.
Not the start to the round here. Complexity would be looking for it.
Look how open middle is as VP starts to probe and move.
Yeah, he can split on Halzerg right here. This is going to be tough for the AWP. He has got some rifle support, but it's got to be massive. I say rifle, it's an SMG, it's an MP9, is all Grim has. Halzerg unable to connect any of the shots, and now he's being split, so he can't get out of there. And Electronic having a field day, pushing his way through camera. It's the second round for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, you're right, though. Halzerg had two good chances to find a kill or an impact. The initial trade where he missed the shot, and obviously that last one as they kind of stream out A main. So JT is just fighting for his life, fighting to keep this M4 in his hands. Money is not great for Complexity. They'll buy in the next round regardless of what happens here. But it's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. And Virtus.pro have created themselves an opportunity to take control of this map.
The opening on Alige, going to be very frustrated about that. Just not ready for that player to have crossed over. Thought he could tuck in safely. Now you can see the shock on Alige's face. And a tactical timeout for Complexity. Letting TC get on the mic.
That's one of the other things that's kind of gone under the radar. Obviously, Electronic being so high profile of a player is going to get a lot of the attention. But I mean, just a little while after he joined, longtime coach of Dastan was
gone.
Was removed. Still, I believe, within the organization. They have a new coach involved, Zoma.
Who was instrumental in leading the side of Nine Panthers to major qualification. Obviously, they didn't get to go.
Yep.
But he was the coach of that squad during the RMR process, and we were able to pull off an underdog qualification. So obviously seeing something they liked. Maybe
the VP felt like they needed a new voice in the coach position to help ease and help facilitate this kind of transition in style. Haven't quite seen the results yet. Good chance here, though. Look at the utility on Complexity. Absolutely nothing. 2 flashbangs and a smoke for the entirety of the round. And considering how critical smokes are to allowing you to activate those kind of proactive plays, the flash peaks towards B main, the kind of pushes towards A, the pushes in canals, you have nothing that can delay time to allow a play like that on the other side of the map. You really don't have, a lot that's gotten you success to this point. You don't have the resource to really execute it. So a tough round for Complexity coming up here in round 8.
Under a minute left. Every single player is still alive on the server. But Complexity starting to show some of that proactivity again. Elige getting aggressive through middle. His head didn't get spotted. Flit, neither. But timing, could it work here for Elige? Oh, good reactions. Able to get his crosshair onto Fame in time. Now JT's caught between a rock and a hard place, and he gets smashed. Flit just runs right through him, and Norbert's already deep inside of this B bomb site. Complexity had no numbers inside of the site itself.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was left on his own. I thought as soon as Elige started making that play, they would shift players off back to the B bomb site, but something made him slow down. They were not nearly as quick as they could have been to shore up that defense.
Last piece of utility, this last flash. Holzer getting ready to send it in, but Grim taken out by Norbert. Here comes that flash. It better be effective. It is in terms of blinding Norbert, but Electronic defends him, and that is a 3rd round now on the T side for VP. They're starting to get much more comfortable now.
Norbert's on a hunt, going to be taken down.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Hello.
There we go. Just about.
I had no idea who was going to win that. At least gets away with an 8K, so a little upgrade at the end. I
was 100% sure Elige was going to win it until he missed 5 bullets.
Just that moment, yeah.
I was like, okay, well, here we go. 5-3, and just the 2 saved rifles for Complexity, and I think you kind of got to stand pat around those.
There's already a pretty decent half, right, for Complexity with 5 on the CT side?
Sure, but we've seen Anubis, we've seen CT side start to figure things out on Anubis. I don't think it's nearly as T-sided as it once was. I think it's kind of closed the gap. So I think the hard part is, yeah, maybe if it's in at the scoreline, you're like, okay, this is pretty good. But when you start out with that lead of what, like 5-1 at one point, like, and you want to put way more rounds on the board.
You don't want to feel deflated going into the second half.
Like if you get battered for the next 4 rounds, it's going to feel terrible.
Well, this is an interesting way of going aggressive on B, boosting Elige out. The 7-foot giant going for a peek, and he's able to damage up Norbert, drop him down to 40 health. But Electronic, he's starting to get more and more confident. He's inside of the smoke here.
There's a time limit on this play for Electronic in the smoke. It's just cleared. And James is just going to pick off rotators. Grim goes down. Elige doesn't want to go through. Now he does, but the kill is too little, too late.
Yeah, very convincing now from Virtus.pro. Elige picked up the AWP. Couldn't quite connect the shot, is now fleeing the scene. It is going to be 5 rounds to 4. VP absolutely back in this first half after a slow start. When Elige might not even get away with this.
Flit was tracking him in Evox the whole time. Heard all the footsteps across the mid-bridge, and they know.
There's 2K left over in the bank right now for Complexity. Won't be able to get an AWP in the next, perhaps. Elige is going to be attacked here by Norbert. He's got to hit the shot, got to nail it, and he does, but there's a flank coming in too. And Elige is going to be aware of the fact he's being pushed on all fronts, and he just can't get away with it.
One round lead, and the question becomes, does Complexity return to that style of being very aggressive out of the bomb sites? Do they start getting back into peeking A main? Mid-round pushes outside of B. It can sometimes be very hard to work up the courage to do that, especially against a team like VP, as we've seen these past few rounds. They're just saying, they realized the opening and the style Complexity wanted to bring on the defense. They're like, we're happy to chill for 40 seconds. Make your aggressive plays. We're going to sit back and watch them. This time they can't handle it. Hulzerk's got one. Norbert trades it back. And now trying to buy time.
Norbert pops up on top, spams on down. JT dead. Oh, if he had one extra bullet, he had another kill in him. But Complexity somewhat still fighting, but I think with Flit's kill on Hulzerk, that might have just signed it off. And it's Floppy alone 1v3, and he's on the other side of the map here and locked in by James. They know exactly where Floppy likes to play.
That round's all Norbert. Obviously 2 kills, but staying alive as long as he did. And if you're Flit and you see that your teammate's calling, they've pushed 3 outside B, you're like, yeah, I'm going to come up through canals
Yep.
into this bomb
Gonna
site.
try that.
Like, cool. That's the easiest read in the book.
And now it's all tied up, Jason. What a start it was for Complexity.
I know. It was good while it lasted.
Yep. Didn't last long. Right back to even numbers again. Honestly, it looks like VP are going to end this half ahead. Second timeout, VP want to ensure that they end this half ahead. They're going up against a Complexity buy that doesn't exist, really. It's just upgraded pistols. So they're going to be taking the lead. That means Complexity will be battling for a 6-6 half. That is the best outcome.
Well,
If, you know, well, all right, Jason.
Come on.
We're
supposed to be the Complexity boys, James called us.
Yeah, well, I don't believe in this one, but maybe we'll see a big Halzerg Deagle round, you know?
Ye of little faith.
Oh, actually, I've seen some JT rounds with a Deag.
Okay.
We know he got it in him, but
Right. You haven't said a leash yet.
well, I mean that's a given.
All right.
You have to have a little bit more than the leash. Let's see how the Deags pan out here for Complexity. And we starting with 2 out towards that B bomb site. Lee's just present in middle. But it's a gathering of all of the VP forces outside of this A site. It has been the weaker of the 2 bomb sites. Floppy has struggled. I think it's not going to get any easier for him. Flash is good. Really clear close right. Norbert not giving away his position, but then Fame immediately peaks, and it's such a rough situation here for Complexity. Floppy and Elise both dead, and Norbert just chasing in towards JT, and I'm telling you, here comes the Deagle. Another one for JT, and he was so close to 3. Oh, that could have been absolutely magical.
It's still possible. This is still doable with these Deagles. Norbert just 1 bullet away from death. Grim going to bide his time. Last time, tried to peek this angle. James was waiting with an AWP, but that's been passed over to Norbert. Smoke is going to be up. Halzerg's going to create some space for himself. This 5-7 getting a dink. 2 players low, but the AWP again.
Halzerg, oh, it's been a team kill in the midst, and the Deagle was 1 away. 1 shot away from bringing James out of this round and putting Complexity ahead, and Halzerg will connect. A bit of Deagle magic for Complexity, and they're back into the lead.
I told you, you always got to have a little bit of faith. There's always some craziness. You were right. JT delivers the first 2 kills to give them the possibility, and a huge mistake. How does that nade? Does it bounce off the pillar?
It must have. We're going to see it again, I'm sure, but that is huge for Complexity. It started so well for VP. They get these first 2 kills. Floppy Elise go down, and then big JT, blinded, still smashes 2 skulls, and he was so close to even getting a 3rd out of that. Well, we get to see that. Oh, we didn't get to see specifically how that nade went down, but you'd have to imagine it just hit off a pillar.
That's just raised electronics frustration level tenfold.
Oh my goodness. Complexity have a chance to leave this half ahead.
That was a 5v3 from VP against Pistols.
Damn. Grim waiting behind the smoke. They're coming on in. Halzerg misses the shot. Norbert already in, and it is complete and utter collapse there for Complexity.
Yeah, they missed the first player crossing over to jail. They just never saw it coming. So the first player inside the bomb site, Grim, just gets deleted for free. Elise does everything he can, but that's going to be it. Virtus.pro comes storming back into this half, and despite a late hiccup, it's tied up at 6.
If I heard that you 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 way you do it, the way I live life, way you do it, the way I live life, the way I live life, way you do it, way you do it, the way I live life, way you do it, the way I live life, the way I live life, way you do it. Way you do it, the way I live life, way you do it, the way I live life, the way I live life, way you do it. What a shame on me. What a shame on me.
Complexity and Virtus.pro cannot be separated after the first half of play here on Anubis. It was a hot start for Complexity. They were up 5-1, and then Virtus.pro came back into it. And the only round Complexity won outside of those initial 5 was a heroic deagle round towards the end.
Yeah, with a little bit of luck mixed in with a little team nade TK from Virtus.pro in a 2v1. They get away with one, both teams exchanging 5-1 runs. Now we get Complexity on the attacking side pistol. JT had a hot start. Going to be close up towards A main, waiting for his moment, and Electronic getting bored. Taken down now. JT, 15 kills from the captain of Complexity.
Yeah, he's doing so well here, JT. But he's taken out this time by Fame in response. A lot of time here for Complexity. They're going to be smoking out that B-bomb site. That cross is now covered. Grim feels comfortable to move his way through, and there's no one here from VP. Fame is quick on their heels through dark and is now engaged in the fight with Elige. And Elige thinks better of committing into that angle, sends Grim in instead. He can be the meat shield, and he'll go for that fight at range. Damage dished out, but no kills. And still awkward. Floppy eventually composes himself for both kills on Norbert and Jame, and that has now surely confirmed this pistol round for Complexity. VP are out of there, and Cole once again back into the lead.
Bold aggression from Elige over in E-Box, taking that fight long range against one, dodging his bullets, taking the close-up fight, bringing Fame down to 1 HP. But better than that, he gathered information. He heard footsteps on bridge, which allows Floppy to prepare for the fight. Excuse me. And for how tough of a half Floppy had.
You saying they're going to be near airport soon, Jason? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. I think there was just a lot of F words in a row there. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a hang of it.
At least you didn't say the F word.
Yeah, that's true. It could have gone worse. But it's a nice little confidence booster for Floppy. Triple kill in the round, holding onto the flank against 2. Really well done, and Complexity's now taken both pistols, and they're up by 1.
Dust 2 and Inferno up next. So we need map 3, of course. We've definitely got Dust 2. And that's always fun. It's back in the pool again.
Dust 2, I feel like, has got to be an absolute nightmare map to play against a team like Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it's a map that a lot of these players, in particular Jame, obviously used to want to play in some of his older rosters, if you remember back to Avantgarde. Something he's very comfortable on. But a gathering of forces outside of A, and absolutely no one from Virtus.pro's home.
Yeah, it's going to be nice when Complexity eventually stroll in. Oh, Grim just looking away.
That could have been nice for him, too. He's 2-11. That would have been a lovely little confidence booster.
Yeah, it really would have been. It also would have been nice information over to his team. Well, it doesn't matter. They have it now. Well, there's your confidence boost.
That is Grim. But Holzer, go and get a little piece of the pie.
He's been dinked, though. He's got to be careful. You don't want to lose too many players or rifles. And now Elige is going to start moving forward. And this is so dangerous. Complexity could lose a lot in a victory here. Flit very low on HP. He's got JT to help out. Alicia's gone down. 3 players dead for Complexity. No longer whatsoever a clean round, and Norbert's just like, why not? Let me just see if anyone's done something stupid and left the bomb site open.
That would have been amazing.
But you get away with an AK-47 as well. VP's loving this round.
Yeah, they do so much. Suddenly, out of nowhere, really. Look, I mean, this is Complexity walking 4 players into an empty bomb site, and somehow they lose 3 players to USPs. Regardless, it is a round win for them, but they have sustained a lot of economic damage, and VP have saved an AK-47, so that would be lovely to have on the CT side. Nice luxury. And we'll see what VP have on the CT side. We've seen Complexity start pretty proactive, pretty aggressive. We'll see if VP have a similar style here.
What hurts about that AK-47 saved is it feels like that's going to be like an unexpected op down the road. Now, Electronic bought an M4 and dropped it over to James, who bought an auto shotgun and dropped it to Electronic. So James equally, like as the offer, is having $1,000 kind of stored up and ready to go. But more than anything, it signals to us, Complexity have no idea, obviously, that Electronic wants to get up close and personal.
And he's decided he wants to get close A. He's going to be mollied into the open, into the fight versus Holzerk. And it's actually Floppy and Holzerk together that combined for that kill. It was Floppy took the brunt of the damage, down to 40 good reactions to take James out of the round here.
It's almost unfair for James breaking that smoke because Floppy has the same idea. So he's already ready for the fight when that smoke opens up. Grim gets a... I thought he got a dink, but nope. He's just dead.
Yeah, he's having a tough time here. Sometimes the games be like this.
Sometimes they just don't go your way.
Yeah, but there's always Dust too. And there's always the rest of Anubis, Grim. This is 9 rounds now for Complexity. Solid start into the second half here. Some decent money on a few players here for VP, but
all things considered, considering VP's lost these first opening 3 rounds of the half, they're not in a bad position when you consider the saved AK-47. Flit's got $2,750 in the bank. James still has $1,000 in the bank. They got money to play with. Next round's going to be another full buy for VP. Flit will drop a weapon over to Electronic.
Yeah, the element of surprise doesn't exist.
Yeah,
because Floppy's just ready for the smoke to blow
securing himself
open.
for the fight that he's looking for. James actually found the AWP.
Hey, all right, James.
There we go. There's that saved AK-47.
I want James to be my personal financial advisor.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like I'd be very safe in his hands. He always figures it out. How to get that big green gun in his hands. JT and Elish. The gruesome twosome as they take dark. Flit needs to be aware of the possibility Elish is already in here, and the utility is signaling the fact that no one is home, but that is a lot of utility on JT. He has lost a lot of his health.
Yeah, and Flit used his smoke just as those Molotovs came in, so he's been protected. There's nothing to kind of force him into a fight he doesn't want to take until that one comes in. And now Elish has to peek and finds the kill, recovers it. But this is a lot of pressure from Complexity is going to let VP know what's coming.
Oh, Electronic still able to get away with a kill on Grim. They mollied him out of position, they got the tag, they had the sound cue, and it still doesn't matter because Virtus.pro holding on to this B bomb site. It is Norbert cleaning up, and it's just Floppy left in a 1v4 situation, one that just doesn't look doable for him. The bomb is down inside of the site. They know exactly where he's coming from, and they're doubled up on the platform. He's got 2 angles to worry about, and that is 7 rounds now for Virtus.pro. Fantastic work for Norbert as he comes back into the site. Flit does pretty well too initially, like dealing with all that dark pressure.
Absolutely, not getting picked off in the initial salvo, for sure. But yeah, Norbert comes into this bomb site and doesn't waste any time getting involved in the action because Elish was starting to hunt for Electronic, whose position was known. Good step around the smoke, and Grim's starting to get more and more frustrated.
Yeah, he's got to feel like he can't catch a break. To
Absolutely, or just you just feel like you can't do anything to help your team win. Starts impacting decisions in the way you take fights.
Grenade's going to land right on top of JT, but he moves out of there. It doesn't take the maximum damage. Just a little sprinkle. A little 9 HP off the top. I'm rooting for Grim.
Yeah.
He Yeah.
Grim fan club is getting started.
I just feel bad for him right now. You know, he's got to do something. He's gonna have a big moment in this game. That's what he's got to think.
I mean, that's the mentality you have to have when you're having a game like this. Is like, look, I'm 2-14. But at some point in these last 8 rounds of play, 7 rounds of play, like I'm gonna have a chance to have impact, and I need to be ready for that occasion. JT looking through the tiniest little gap for information. No one from Virtus.pro is close by to give it to him.
James just waiting for the cross in front of him. He will get that opportunity right now. It's the AWP of Halzerk as both AWPers miss their chances. 30 seconds though for Complexity. That's starting to become a problem. Time is certainly limited. JT charge in. Oh, ineffective in taking Fame out of there, and that smoke keeps Halzerk back. The split is ineffective. Fame is shutting down this Complexity attack, and with 15 seconds left, Fame dismantles the whole squad. It's Grim with no time left, not a hope in hell, and he is going to die in a mere moment as well. He needs to die before the time. He's got to die before the time, and he does. So Norbert gets rid of him. He at least gets that extra cash going forward, but Fame just shuts the entire round down.
Yeah, just Complexity didn't find the timing to pull the trigger on that attack after the AWPers encounter each other. Forced to come through the smoke. They don't want to stand pat in middle, waiting to be crunched, and they come right into Fame, looking for the AWP out to the left. And he just feasts. Quad kill. And it's back to just a 1-round lead for Complexity.
One that will not be a 1-round lead for very long. You know, this is one that you can't even believe in the Magic, surely.
I don't know, you've said that before.
Yeah, well, you know, they did win that one. But this time, they got 2 Glocks, a couple of Deagles, and a P250. Grenades softening them up as well.
Oh, yeah, that one hurts.
That really does ruin their chances. But JT, here he goes again. Grim dead through the smoke.
He's got one. That's out towards Temple, but plenty of VP bodies to replenish their fallen teammate. No access to the B bomb site. Complexity is going to back away, head to the other side of the map. Plenty of time for Virtus.pro to get a sense of the absence of Complexity towards B and readjust their defense. Everyone kind of huddled up in middle on the VP side of things at the moment. 3 players here looking to track this mobile Complexity attack. And Electronic, it looked like he wanted to get activated and start pushing forward for some intel, but holds back against the pistols.
Oh my god, okay. Maybe I'm starting to believe again.
It's a foot race.
Oh my goodness, straight into that B-bomb site is a race indeed. And now is a better weapon for Floppy. Norbert tries to toss utility out. Will it delay them long enough? They swing into the open. Electronics ready. Floppy goes down, but the bomb plant is already massive. And they want a little bit more. JT on that Deagle. JT with another. And this could be absolutely brilliant for JT. He's up against Fame, who's just back towards CT. And JT is just biding his time. But his head is ripped off with the AK-47. But Complexity, man, when they've got the pistols in hand, there is always a chance. That bomb plant and 4 kills is a huge amount of cash.
I mean, 1 Deagle on a Jame with from B main to Temple is massive. And then you add a Liege from way back in Canals all the way towards E-Box. A couple spectacular shots open everything up. There's JT.
He's so sick on the Deagle.
That's filthy. This is a Liege. He's got to weave that bullet through 3 teammates' heads.
I feel like a Liege would be good at golf. You know, he's got that's a long-range shot right through all the obstacles. And tactical timeout for Complexity, their second used. They came so close to extending their lead slightly, but they've now lost the lead. It's all tied up again.
Problem is, outside of that round, the 2 rounds they'd lost previously, they had no real damage done to VP's economy. There was, you know, the first 2 rounds of this little win streak from VP, they only lost 1 player total across the 2 rounds. So everyone's got money. So normally when you get to this situation where you have 1 player surviving, it's like, okay, well, Complexity, they've set this up perfectly. You win this round, you reset the economy, you get a little bit more advantage in terms of the money in your favor. They don't have that luxury this time. They're playing this game on hard mode because Virtus.pro getting started on this 3-round streak was so solid.
They had to blow open in middle. Electronic decides he doesn't want to stand behind an open smoke. But he will stand in the fire.
Okay, and they execute. All 5 players Yeah.
They've already had their initial utility into B as well. So the first two smokes have been tossed. They're not going to go on those. They're going to go on the re-smokes.
There's 3 defenders here, though. I don't know how this works for Complexity, especially if there's a counter utility, counter smoke, counter Molotov in towards main. Flit's got 1 blind.
Yeah, that's a good start here for VP. It's a disaster for Complexity. You can just see it from the mini-map. Just the amount of players that VP had inside of B. That double pump, it's going to work out.
Yeah, and everyone ready with like counter utility. When you have 3 players, right, it's like 2 of them can be gun out, 1 can be ready with counter flashes. You see all those nades stream over the wall, and it's like, boop, drop the flash, everyone peek, everyone fight, and it works perfectly. 10-9.
I think this has a heartbreaking first map loss written all over it for Complexity.
It's one of those maps where you're going to, if you end up losing this as Complexity, you're going to feel terrible because you had good starts in both halves. 5-1 in the first half. You got the first 3 on your T side as well, and just not able to find an adaptation.
This is Complexity's map pick as well, so tough scenario if they do end up losing this one, but it's not over yet. AK-47 available for Leash. But Norbert's starting to get freed up a little bit more. He's pushed out B. And the gathering of Complexity players outside of A, it's starting to be red based on that information push from Norbert. So you can see, again, heavy numbers are going to be on the bomb side. The Complexity are attacking. This could end up being a very easy round for VP again if Complexity stay committed towards A.
Yeah, Norbert with that early spot.
He's going back for more information. Does spot 1 player outside of B this time.
Yeah, but that's standard. You're like, yeah, he's way far back. It's just the 1 player watching for the push, so you're able to keep 3 players parked at A.
And this setup looks brutal. You got James. Oh, you had James ready, but it doesn't matter. The guillotine's rolled out. Electronic with 2 headshots very quickly. Elise charging in, trying to do as much as he can. 2 kills is good, but it's James coming in from heaven with a big shot on Elise. Couldn't quite follow up in towards main. And Flit, he's got the rotation, the perfect positioning to deal with the rest of the threat. Now this could be the moment we were talking about. The Grim clutch. He's down low on bullets and unfortunately still low on kills, and that will be another round for Virtus.pro.
Just having such a rough game. Still quiet today for Grim, at least in this first map.
That'll be another thing as well, that Grim is obviously going to feel rough about this first map, but if you lose it, despite having good starts in both halves, you're just going to imagine, like, what if I was able to do a little bit more in a few of those rounds as well?
I think the problem, too, for Complexity now is, like, these past 2 rounds, they've descended into an execute at the B bomb site. This one was just a straight-up execute at the A bomb site. And previously, they were even losing when they were more spread on the default. So I think they've lost a little bit of confidence in these kind of spread-out defaults where individuals can find impact or not get picked off and create some kind of opportunity for you. And then also now your executes are just getting stone cold shut out. Both times they've thrown one in, VP's been stacked at that bomb site with 3 players. Virtus.pro winning in so many aspects of the game right now. In terms of information gathering, they're winning that. Economy, check. They've got that in their back pocket as well.
And just output from players across the board is just much stronger at the moment. A real weak link. A minute left. Again, Complexity setting up for a B split this time. And there's a lot of VP players ready for that possibility. It is hard to see a world in which Complexity are going to be successful here. Got a couple pieces of utility still to go through before they decide to make their final attack. No one from VP playing within dark. And they've even got the AWP here on the back platform, protected by the rifles around him. It's James to strike through the darkness. It's 2 kills locked in for the sniper. And Elige is left with 20 seconds and 4 VP players looking directly at him. This is going to be so hard for Elige to even take a step closer to the bomb site, but Elige has got some heroics left in him. It's 2 kills and 1 low HP Norbert at the back of the site. Oh, Elige! He's found him as well. He's on for all 5 here, Elige. And he's faked the plan. He's got him in! And that was nearly an absolutely heroic moment for Elige, but it is stolen away from him in the final few seconds by Fame. The absolute goal to go for the fake plant with 5 seconds left.
And no bullets in the AK, only your Glock as well. He switched out. I don't know if he got the calm that somebody was low or it was just like, I don't have any weapons, I don't have time to reload. But yeah, he almost pulls it off.
He was definitely rocking with his Glock out, that was for sure. Oh, that could have been absolutely insane from Elige. It's just one of those rounds. It's just another close one, but it goes VP's way. Now Electronic looking to try and knock them out. Looking for the final blow here on Anubis, and it's working out for Virtus.pro. Kill after kill from James. It's Floppy and JT left. And despite good starts in both halves, in particular in that first round Complexity, it is all in a losing effort on their own map pick.
You're going to feel terrible. They're going to drop this map on a 0-7 streak. Virtus.pro just round 16 on, something clicked, and they have decimated Complexity's attack.
And this is Complexity's pick, as you said, and up next is Dust2. VP are going to be a difficult team to put away on that map. It's looking like Complexity might be finding themselves in the resurrection zone here at the Esports World Cup. Smokeout blocks Flit's vision. Still some time left for Complexity as they make their final maneuvers over towards A, but look how many players are waiting for them. 3 ready to answer the call for Virtus.pro. With grenades in hand, it'll slow them down. They won't be able to get that burst forward into the bomb site. It feels like this is the final motions of Anubis. Floppy to lead the charge out. Grenade slows them down. And now they go for their attack. Looking to wrap around the back of the bomb site. Going for the plant. But Electronic takes them both out. And it is Virtus.pro that walk away with Anubis. That walk away with Complexity's map pick.
Yeah, such a nice performance for Virtus.pro as they kind of switched over to the CT side. Absolute dominance. And Complexity's got to be feeling stunned. We got James and the guys on the desk ready to take it away.
A decent map on Inferno, and we'll definitely get to talk about that if we go there. The problem for me is that Dust2 is going to be very rough for Complexity. I think the fashion they were losing on Anubis, you had so many win conditions going their way with the pistols, with the good starts to the half, with JT having I think he was 11-1 at one point in that first map as well.
Yep.
So you have so many win conditions going your way, and yet you still got outclassed by VP. I think it's going to be the same case here on Dust2.
Well, let's find out what happens, and let's go back to the Complexity boys.
Yeah, it's not looking so good for us right now, Jason, but we'll see if VP can win a pistol round.
It'll turn around when we get our theme music.
Let's go, Grim. Let's go, Grim. That's what we're hoping for. A big pistol round out of him to get him fired up for this Dust2 performance. He had a real tough time on map number 1, but he is looking to try and start off Dust2 with a better stance. A lot of VP players coming his way, so maybe a lot of chances, Jason.
Problem is, Halzerk and Elige need to work up the courage to get boosted up into the bomb site. There's a couple of smokes that are going to make this really hard to stop. Grim's going to be blocked off. Elige inside the site. Halzerk over at CT spawn. JT coming catwalk, but already the defense is shut down.
Yeah, not looking too hot, but JT getting back into it. He's the pistol god today. 3 headshots right back. And just when you thought VP would find themselves a pistol round victory, JT is there to steal away their dream. And Plant is now coming in. Fame and Jame combining together. And looking to try and close this one out. JT still at short, hasn't moved. Waiting for an overextension. He gets that fight. Couldn't quite capitalize as they get in towards Goose. He's got another headshot in, and JT one away from all 5. And Fame looks to prevent that from happening, and Floppy will steal it away. What a round from JT again. He is feeling it today.
Yeah, I mean, he's just keeping the floor of this team at a certain level, right? Bailing them out of a really tough situation. That's another 5-on-3 that VP loses when they get control of the bomb site. JT just bangs them out. Nothing tactical to talk about. This is just nice shooting.
Yeah, he definitely bails out his squad. The initial fights didn't look too comfortable for Complexity, but he's damn clean with it. Lovely stuff, and then Floppy just getting on the board right there. And that is going to be rather frustrating, I'm sure, for VP.
Yeah, I would say so, though. I mean, they did lose both pistols on Anubis and still rattled a victory off there. So they'll have to sit back. They do pick up some Galils.
An all-out for Halzerk.
How do you get that? Is that JT dropping it over?
Must be, yeah. Leash going aggressive up middle. VP are trying to still figure out, like, what are we doing? What are we buying here?
Yeah, this is a really awkward opening, and especially if you're Norbert, you're like, you get killed like that, and you're like, why do I have 2 teammates just juggling weapons in T-spawn? Like,
he just dies because his team cam.
Can I get like one of you 2 guys to like watch for that mid push?
Oh, unlucky Norbert.
And now you've invested all this money into a round where you've just given away a life for free.
It's not the ideal start here for VP.
Now, Complexity is going to keep, I would imagine, JT pretty much playing buddy system with Hulzerk's AWP, right? You're going to want to keep that space against some of these lower buys. He just moved, a little bit dangerous. JT comes back, Hulzerk scoped up.
I'm going to be pretty disappointed. There's an AWP on the other side. I think it's already Virtus.pro. 45 seconds remaining. Re-smoke into the tunnels, just deployed. That is from the Complexity camp. Now, on the other side of that smoke lies in wait a couple of Virtus.pro players, soon to be 3. As now Flit joins the pack, and they are ready to attack in towards the back. It's Floppy getting Molly out of position, heating things up. Fame just rips his head off at range. Hulzerk's AWP strikes into action, and he needs to be careful. He can't throw that AWP into the lines, Dan. You can't let VP get that back.
I'll tell you what, though, this is an awkward situation. There's no utility for this retake for Complexity. Not a smoke for tunnels, not any flashbangs to take anyone away, and we know the B bomb site is very, very difficult to retake, even with a man advantage, and another smoke is going to come up. So there's 0 kits on top of all of that.
And no utility. It's just an AWP. You got to save it. You have to. They're backing away. They're not going for it.
Holy hell.
That is a simple but effective call from Virtus.pro. They annihilate Floppy at the back of the platform, and because of the weapons and the resources they have to lose and lack of resources, they actually attempt to retake. Complexity call it off, and VP tie things up.
I mean, it's a surprising outcome of how the round looked like it would play out, but it's not a bad call, obviously. With 4 full weapons, you can rebuy utility, you can buy a kit in this next round. You have a full buy, essentially, except for Floppy. So maybe look for VP to kind of target late round if we get to that situation. B-bomb site might be an option, realizing that Floppy's the only kill they got previously.
Hulzerk really wanted to have more impact there. That smoke just cancels him out. And good discipline not to just go Hail Mary straight through that window. Probably would have instantly been killed, or at least traded.
Yeah, but if he gets the kill,
then it would have been sick,
then they retake.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways of looking at it. But he's got the AWP in this round because of his decisions, and perhaps now he can have impact with some longevity. Oh, Floppy. Oh, that's a rough start to the round. Had to start with an MP9 and then eats a grenade. At least the trade for damage is back and forth. JT gets caught looking between 2 angles and ends up getting a bullet between his 2 eyes. JT gone out of that. Does VP collect the first?
Deep smoke on Catwalk means VP can't take complete control of it and apply pressure and use that as leverage. However, again, as I mentioned, late rounds, they know Floppy is going to have a weaker weapon, and they're able to take him down with ease. Can they trade Elige off? Not quite yet, but they've kept him out of the bomb site in similar situation. No utility, no kits.
And this time we got a player deficit, so
yeah,
likely to be another save call. But also Electronic is around here, so they might not be able to save as easily as they did in the previous round. Electronic could be a real nuisance and take all of these key weapons out of the hands of Complexity. This fight is everything. Grim making noise, and Electronic takes out Grim. Hulzerk slipping away with the AWP.
We just mentioned the last map, Grim probably feeling like nothing can go his way. This time he's just trying to upgrade to an M4, gives up the sound cue, and Electronic's able to just swing on it.
Yeah, it hasn't really been the start that would reset the mentality of Grim. It's just more of the same.
Going hunting for more. They want that AWP away. They want to trade it off, and they will get it. And Elige is the only one left, 27 HP. Electronic hasn't spotted him yet. They might let him keep this gun at the end of the day.
They're going to step forward, and no mercy for Complexity. They lose everything, and they don't even attempt a retake because they wanted to save those so bad. But VP effective in the hunt. They are now in the lead, and very likely to extend it.
Oh, that's such a, this is turned into like the pistol round is nice, right? You get that heroic effort out of JT when the quad kill at the A bomb site is basically the sole defender against 5. But man, the instant rebuttal in round 2 and then this full clean out in round 3, this, all of a sudden that cool pistol round is just a nightmare beginning to Dust 2. And James gets a free AWP.
And now when James has the AWP, he can start to control this map. You know, he's very comfortable in doing so. You know, looking at VP, oh my God. Okay,
Norbert.
There we go, Grim. Finally. Catches a break.
Yeah.
Poor Norbert, of course. But that bomb side of B has been taken. But, you know, you look at VP and you thought when Dust 2 got added to the pool, you know, this is going to be a map. Surely they put into their map pool, and they did pretty quickly, but the results were terrible at the start when Electronic first joined. They lost 13-4 to Maoas back in Boom Dacha, and then they had Dallas where they lost 13-5 to Big. And then after that, they had some time before the spring finals, just a little bit, and they were able to see steady improvements. They beat Vitality, they played Spirit really close, and they got a win over Astralis.
I think right now it's like I think it's a symptom of the underlying problems we saw when Electronic was brought in, and obviously now we have a few more details we can go off of with that Jame interview that came out a while back. Of just like a lack of cohesion in terms of the theory or the style of play they were kind of committing to and they wanted to develop. I mean, you can kind of see some of the Jame-led teams on Dust 2 and some of the CS teams on Dust 2. What was really a dangerous point for them was how slow, how quiet, and how many lurkers they would place across the map. And especially on a map like Dust 2, that can be so annoying when you're trying to move around and be mobile and respond to things as a defender. And you can see here, this feels, in my mind at least, a little bit more of like the Electronic philosophy where they're just like, we sense this weakness at the B bomb site. Like, let's just hit it. Let's just go back to it each and every time. They haven't been able to stop us yet. They can't really retake it. Economy's low. They don't have the resources to do things about it. And you're just kind of leaning on that weakness for as long as you feel it's there.
Yeah, that killer instinct. Injected into Virtus.pro. Real close to that opening move, that Norbert. But look at Grim. He's pushed all the way up into the longhouse. In the meantime, Flit taking some space of his own with Electronic. They've moved their way through those mid doors, and they are looking to fight towards the B ramp. Leaf needs to get out of dodge, and he will further fall back into this B bomb site. Some decent control here for VP with still over a minute left to play with. They got plenty of time. When does Grim decide to activate his flank? Might need to go rather quickly because Elige just died on the ramp. Floppy now needs to defend this B-bomb site on his own. He's worried about the door, but he comes back out into the open, and this time Electronic ready for that repeak. So VP have found themselves the further kill, and Grim has only started that flank through long now.
And I mean, they haven't even committed all their players into the B-bomb site. You still have two players. You still have Electronic and Jame just sitting in middle at the moment and saying they can't come CT, they can't come double doors or mid. All they've got is B tunnels, and VP just working things. And again, that feels like a very Electronic-led round when you consider he gets that foothold out of mid, right? He's holding it, and he's waiting for someone to rotate in. They can repeatedly smoke off CT spawn, make that defense panic, make it feel pressure, make it feel nervous. And then all of a sudden, you're just taking a fight, and Complexity has no idea when it's coming, so there's no chance to organize. Floppy coming back to window to double peek in middle from the defense. It's going to be a very, very difficult, frustrating, and annoying half for Complexity.
This actually feels very similar to Anubis, because that A-bomb site on Anubis was the same setup right between Floppy and Elige, and that was the site VP continually found success at, and they're doing the same again here just on the B-bomb side of Dust 2. It's the same two players in the setup together, and VP keep finding their way through them.
Timeout from Complexity, talking about what they've seen, what they need to adjust, how they need to react to different situations.
And 2 ops is the decision.
It's an old classic. When all else fails on Dust 2, buy a second off.
Roll the dice with the double off.
And we've seen Elige using it more and more. Or I've noticed it. I don't know if you have.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
I've seen it. Now that I think about it, I've seen some decent rounds.
Yeah.
No, I remember some decent rounds now with it from Elige. I'll see if he's able to make it work in this round. It's Elige and Halzorg, the double op setup. The problem is for Complexity, every time they decide to say, VP have so many resources left, they just on the hunt instantly. And here goes that alt peak. Halzorg just running into lower tunnels. It isn't the most common alt peak, but he's got a good spawn for it, so he's gone for it. And Jane attempting to open things up at long. It's the classic sound, the symphony of op shots ringing out across Dust 2.
And Halzorg has so much safety. He's got Elige's op up on catwalk peering towards top middle. He's got JT who's going to start activating on a push, but this just makes it so hard for Grim. You make this kind of a play to deny what VP's been doing for the past 4 rounds, and they switch it up on you at the perfect moment. Good calling from VP. And poor Grim is just left on an island because all of the resources are in mid.
VP can slow things down. Think about some of the mid control they don't have. JT hoping that they coming towards it, but that doesn't seem likely. So he starts to get itchy feet and move forward into this fight. And it does work out for JT. He finds himself a 1v1 duel against Norbert.
Norbert's just like, for the love of God, can I stop getting killed by these mid pushes? But again, the cost is so high. JT can't get away. The defenders there trying to support him are left in the open, and Electronic has space to work with.
Just feels like VP's playground right now. They're just walking around.
It's so interesting because like there's so many players in middle for Cole. When Grim goes down and you have this mid push from JT and you have Halzerk's up and like lower even for some time, it still feels like Complexity doesn't have a whole lot of actual information about where VP is positioned or where they're actually going to attack into. And Halzerk
know
is
exactly where he is.
Yeah, he's not saving that. It's done.
Electronic is starting to just farm them up. 8-2 now. He's having a great time on Dust 2. This is very much looking like Virtus.pro are going to walk away with a 2-0 in their opening game at the Esports World Cup. Complexity will be down into the resurrection bracket. You don't really want to be that. You know, it's best of ones. You're out if you lose. And you're looking at teams like Fury already there. Obviously, could be deadly in a best of one. You don't want to find yourself having to battle through that.
The team I'd be most scared of in that resurrection bracket is probably Mongols, to be honest with you. They're down there as well.
That's true.
But yeah, either way, it's a long day of grinding best of ones with a lot of pressure on each and every one of them.
Stress the whole day.
Yeah.
Let's see how Norbert handles this one. He deserves it after a very tough couple of moments out defending those mid pushes. And now Floppy's Deagle left over on that B bomb side. It is now 6-1 for Virtus.pro.
Pistol round was nice though.
Definitely was. That JT will always remember that one. There is another game going on right now. It is Spirit versus MIBR, and I can tell you it's looking good for MIBR over there. It's not pretty.
Really? That's surprising to me.
Yeah. I can see subtle hints of sarcasm being detected. 11-1 currently to Spirit on the second map on Vertigo. And that would indeed be MIBR's pick. MIBR are decent at Vertigo as well. So that's, I feel like Spirit have maybe turned a new page when it comes to Vertigo. It was seen as their weakness for a little while after the RMRs.
Yeah, but it became so obvious at the time.
Yeah, and then they switched Dong, right? They
switched him off the B anchor, but also, I mean, like, everyone played it against them for like a good month.
And they got a lot of practice.
So many reps on it.
It's like, thank you guys, you actually just fixed our weakness.
Is this, I can't imagine VP calling a B-rush, surely not. Surely it's a timing.
Halzerk is going to have to defend. And he is going deeper into the tunnels. Here he goes. He's got rifle support with him. And Halzerk gets out of there. Big swing. Floppy can't handle the rifle of fame. And now Halzerk, he's under pressure with utility, but no one from VP following up and chasing after him. They'll be happy with the 4v4.
Yeah, the equalizer on that push is the most important part. So good job from VP just staying disciplined and not over-peaking and swinging into that and giving Halzerk chances to make a highlight reel with the op. They know with the amount that they've hit and had success at the B bomb site, that Complexity likely going to rotate someone over. And look at Elige going for information, feeling like he's the only one who's being proactive. Norbert ready and waiting, hiding. Barrel shows easy. Well, it's a kill. He does get dinked.
Yeah, it was nearly easy, and then Elige dinks him. He's seen the barrel for so long.
Here's Grim's play. He just pushed out long, and this is a fake over towards Catwalk.
Oh, they're looking for it though, aren't they? Oh. Fame at least was just a second ago. He's in a position to deal with it if Grim eventually comes back.
The timing on this is going to be everything because
there's a low tunnel player coming out too with Norbert. Oh, Norbert, he's gone.
Yeah, but it's perfect. He's the low HP player. That's the signal. That's the alarm of like, okay, well, Grim's pushed out long. You know, one was in the B bomb site. That was Halzerk, but Virtus.pro decides to attend to their flank. 25 seconds left. James really hunting this down, and now they turn it into a B hit.
They switch it up. Grim's done very well to reposition there and catch James. Very committed to that. You really wanted to get rid of Grim. He could have joined the rest of the pack and went into the B bomb site. And they get across. Halzerk misses his small window of opportunity to take down that player on the cross on over. Flip puts the bomb down, and now the chances for VP to win this round have increased.
One flashbang for Complexity, and remember, this is not an easy bomb site to retake.
Complexity have barely attempted to even retake this site, but they feel like they have to now, and they're going in with it. But a double from Foot as he switches back. He nearly gets all three, but it's Grim to finally break through with a big round. A triple kill and a 1v1 to secure the second round for Complexity.
Yeah, this is the most impact he's had in the series so far. Good round from him, good decision on the flank, finding his timing to wrap around, gather intel for his team, find a few kills, and a big-time clutch when they needed it. But now they have to build upon that, and one thing we kept harping on is the amount of money that Virtus.pro has to work with. Another full buy coming into this next round.
Nice shot from Halzer. Oh, straight away back into the action, and it's Jame to rip apart Halzerk in that mid-fight early. Spam is good. That's half of Grim's health gone, and Norbert doesn't even take a lick of damage, so he's gone. Oh, Flit. What? Okay, Elish. Well, that was pretty easy.
Did he think he was covered by the smoke?
I'd imagine not.
All right, well, Floppy's going to have to, now that mid's so exposed, he has to push it.
Oh, no, the timing. As soon as Floppy decides to shoot, he knew there was a play there. They just, that last second turn away, he dodges the bullets, and Grim to take Norbert out in mid. So 3v2 is still winnable for Complexity, but it'd be retake this time. They're so far away. It's just so unlikely.
Complexity hasn't been able to stop or do anything about this B bomb site, and I'm not even going to put it all on Floppy. I'm not going to say like it's his bad performances that are allowing them in. I think VP just has such a, with the fact they're having so much success in middle, they just know they always have the B bomb site at a point of weakness where nobody can actually help Floppy when they're choosing to attack.
There's just so many different ways that VP are taking the B bomb site too that it's really hard for them to get a grip on it.
Mid to B split, full-blown execute, dry peaks. Yeah, we've pretty much had it all. The entire...
Just walking through a smoke right there. Yeah. I wonder if Elise was just like, he knew the risk that was posed to him being exposed to top mid and was just willing to take that risk for a few seconds, because there's no way he thought he was covered by the smoke, because he went through the smoke. You could tell if you were covered, you would be in the smoke, right? So he must have just known he was exposed and was maybe willing to take that risk for a few seconds.
I mean, knowing Elige, he has a reason why he's made this play. I think it's probably because he killed Jane, killed the Opper, and thought that would be it.
That would be no one else told me.
And no one would want to peek mid against an AWP, but Flit just comes strolling down.
Halzerk has to go do a scout as well.
Looks silly, but I'm sure the explanation has plenty of logic to it. Second timeout for Complexity.
It's going to be very deflating right now for Complexity. I think we'll just go back to that point of the fact that they started both halves on Anubis so strong. Looked really solid at times on the map, and you had big performances from JT, which you don't always get. And Elise was obviously there with him. And losing map 1 is going to sting. You knew Dust 2 was always going to be difficult. You wanted to try and bring this battle to Inferno. Chance again for James to open up. Hasn't actually bossed the game at all. You know, he's 2 kills, one of which was found at the start of the last round.
And now you're starting to see the pace change stylistically that VP's been building more and more into their game plan. Flit's up catwalk at 1 minute and 40 seconds. And he's just going to park himself and wait. Wait for the opportune moment. Complexity, they've had enough of losing this B bomb site. They say, you know what? The rest of this half, we're going to hold on to B. We'll retake A. We'll win or lose at that bomb site, but we do not want to keep just giving this site up for nothing.
Grim gets out of that just in time. Take too much damage from the molly. No one really was there to punish. So Halzerk, don't be fooled by the scope. It is just a measly little scout.
I'm glad you said that. I actually thought it was an op for a second.
That one's for you, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. Flashbangs out. Stream of flashbangs, keeping Halzerk away. It doesn't matter if it's an op or a scout if he's blind.
The fireworks display. Don't look at it.
No, he doesn't even get a single chance to be involved. And again, just a lurker. Layers of lurkers left in the gap. You've got one in mid. You had Electronic out mid.
And Norbert's in middle if they try and kill out through short. He's got that covered off. And so they're all streaming through CT apart from Grim, who's just waiting for his teammates to make that move, and then he'll come in from long, and it is pretty effective from Grim and JT. 2 headshots quite quickly, and James now the wizard stands within Gandalf. And his AWP looking to strike upon the end. Oh, he's close. He's close, but he's not able to get the job done, and Complexity overwhelm him.
Kit.
And now they have got Floppy on that defuse, so he's got it all the way. And finally, a 3rd round for Complexity.
Yeah, that second lurk way at the top of mid ended up, I mean, you could see the protocol. Like, eventually, if that defense is feeling pressured, he goes out towards long during that retake to kind of backstab it. But I think the kills came out way too quick for him to be there in time to have any true impact on the round. And Complexity again get their 3rd. And I think, honestly, like, not just because they just won that round, but I mean, actually, probably because they just won that round. That's the defense you just kind of have to play for the rest of this half. You just say, we'll gladly let you attack the A bomb site. We'll defend it, we'll retake it, but we're not giving you the B bomb site again.
Missed molly from VP down mid, so they have to be aware that there could be a quick presence in lower tunnels. But it is, again, a heavy commitment towards this B bomb site. They're going back to All Faithful, and it's Floppy in the corner. Is he able to get something out of this? It's one and done, but Elige finally explodes from lower tunnels, is able to get away with that kill, and there's 2 now detected in lower. James looks to fend them off. 1 is good. Can he get the second? The answer is absolutely not.
Bomb.
As Elige drops him, the bomb is down in tunnels, and now Elige looks to defend. The onslaught of players charging in. Information collected that there has to be a second player in tunnels, but Flit is preoccupied about the possibility of one outside those doors.
I actually don't think they know that Grim was that close to Elige, but it doesn't really matter. Flit is still smoked off. He was at least able to activate his teammate with the flashbang, but
Would Fame have not seen him on the death cam? Or like he's seen the second player coming out through lower just before it looked like, but
he might have, absolutely. Still a similar defense, just looking a little differently. You guys still have 2 players defending that B bomb site. One of them is just pushed in towards tunnels, so a really nice pounce for Elige on Floppy's 1-for-1. And despite how much of a disaster this half has been, the scoreline is close enough to where it's not all lost.
so it's definitely workable. If James gets the second kill though, and it's over. So Elige, important fight to be picking up, and obviously the second's even better as Fame just charges in that. Nice shot. James, that's another opening. His kills may be few, but they're certainly impactful. That's Elige down in mid. It's going to be frustrating for Elige to have to deal with that.
Well, especially considering Flit's like, nice kill. I will take that space now. He's out mid, and he'll be able to cut off Floppy if he rotates out of the B bomb site. 3 defenders out towards long. VP's going to pause and wait and look for the reaction.
This is a cool move. Electronic boosted up. He's got some great cover here with that box. Flashes up, headshot Encore, Grim taken off. Oh, now they see the player crossing the pit as well, so they know JT's in that. Complexity, a lot of resources being committed towards long, and Flit is still through those mid doors.
That's so smart from Electronic. Bailing yourself out with that smoke at the corner, now a mid to B split. Now the defense is really scrambling to get back, but actually the attack is coming into the B bomb site through tunnels. They thought the main thrust would be through mid on the rotation, and they were dead wrong.
Floppy is still so paranoid. He's still so focused on Flit. Now Electronic comes off short. It's perfectly worked for VP to secure an 8th round at the end of the first half of Dust 2. Hello and welcome back to the Esports World Cup. We've got Virtus.pro versus Complexity, and currently looking like Virtus.pro are going to continue on their merry way through to the next stage. And then Complexity, they're about to find themselves in the resurrection bracket if they concede Dust 2. 8-4 half, VP now switch to the CT side. They haven't been good at winning pistol rounds though, Jason. Because JT puts it up. He puts the numbers up in the pistol.
I was going to say, at least in the first half, it's like they had everything they could have possibly wanted to win the pistol round. Just some magnificent shooting from JT. And it feels like they've had such a good feel for Dust 2 throughout the first half. Let's see what they've got here. 3 at the A-bomb site, 1 in middle. Fame is over in the B-bomb site as well. Complexity all huddled up on Catwalk. Attacking in a James position who's spotted a leg.
So all of the resources committed through short for Complexity. It's all in on this A site. Plenty of players lying in wait for Virtus.pro. If Complexity lose this pistol round, it is going to spell disaster at the start of the second half. And they line up. James gets away with 1. Complexity yet to put that bomb down. They're staying committed, trying to get the plant at a minimum to give themselves a solid purchase in the next. Electronic and James are on death's door, but they are still fragging out. And Virtus.pro will win the pistol, and pretty strongly, because they only lose 1 player. And that'll be 9-4 now.
Yeah, a couple of gushes, but nobody can finish off those kills. Electronic at 1, James at 4. A little smile on his face as he gets away with it.
We want a pistol round, guys.
Yeah, hell yeah, we done it. Well, look, Complexity is going to buy right back into this. You have to. You get the plant down. You're going to want to pick up Galil's. This kind of a score line, you don't want to let them inch any closer to that victory before you can start getting some momentum in your favor. That's a shot from Flit. Dang. Scout on Halzerk, 4 Galil's, 1 flashbang.
Electronic running up through top middle. He's down to 28 health. Good tag from Halzerk. Electronic, though, if he gets his gun out here, this could be absolutely massive for him to take down multiple players. Electronic confident to swing with the USP as well. Electronic is taking every single fight, even if he doesn't need to. And it works out very well. It's still a 3 versus 2. And, oh my God, it's juggling in middle.
And then he took a scout for it. Oh, get out, Grim. No way.
Oh God.
Oh, what a sequence.
That was chaos.
Nice shooting from James. Better from Electronic, though. The double kill and lower. The pistol whip as well on a JT.
Yeah, it might be the end for Complexity in this game. Not the Esports World Cup, though. Not yet. Although it is pretty difficult.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a rough day. Tomorrow's going to be a rough day for a lot of teams.
Best of ones. Norbert. Smoking towards long. Here comes the charge out. Complexity sending everything towards Norbert. He needs to be careful, but they all lined up. And just like a bowling ball, straight through the pins, it's Elige, Floppy, and Grim to fall on over.
He's got a turkey. That's a bowling term?
That's a bowling term? Yeah, I'm not a particular bowler. My bowling technique is terrible, Jason.
It is. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It is not good.
I throw the ball really high up and just kind of go for full power and try and just hit as many over. I guess that's the point of the game, but not with the most smooth accuracy.
Well, a turkey is 3 strikes in a row.
3 strikes in a row. Okay,
I know you haven't experienced that yet.
That's why I don't know the term, yeah. But you're a bit of a shark when it comes to the bowling as well, man.
No,
you
I am
got a
not.
smooth old bowl on you.
I am really, no.
You look good in those shoes, Jason.
I do look good in the shoes.
Yeah.
11-4. Op is out in Halzerk's hands, AK-47s as well to surround it, but Complexity has just looked outclassed here on Dust 2 so far. Hard to imagine any kind of significant shift in that feeling.
I'd imagine it significantly shifted to the negative side, probably worsening. And Flit and Floppy 1 for 1 in lower tunnels.
It's a pretty cool setup for that. Double nade lower, swing on the second nade. Complexity have mid control. A little bit of utility to show catwalk presence, taking those first steps. VP have dropped 2 players inside of the B bomb site. Nobody watching mid at the moment. But if Complexity try and do to VP what VP was doing to them at this B bomb site, it's going to go vastly different.
There's Electronic, nice and clean, lovely double. Grim and Floppy barbecued, and that smoke goes up in front of Holzerk's face. His information flow now severed, and well, the chances for Complexity now are very, very slim.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's like they're getting a lesson on defending that B bomb site.
Yeah, it's like, that's how you do it.
This is how you do it, guys.
Well, I suppose you always find a positive, Jason.
Yikes.
Yeah, missed shot from Jane.
It's cool. Relative safety, he can fall back, no pick off. Complexity, if they want a chance at this round, they have to go up catwalk quick and try and take advantage of the one defender. You can see Holzerk is just making the risk, making the guess that Jame is the only defender at this bomb site. And there is one more close up, that's Norbert.
Oh, here's a flank from Electronic. It's quick through short, and it is effective. Bomb plant just about got down, and a Molotov onto Norbert. He's just going to stand in it. You're not gonna,
dude, what a flex.
He just knew. He just knew it. Like, he's going to get it.
That actually might be worse than teabagging somebody, just standing in those flames.
Imagine doing it while in the fire. No, that would be next level.
The flaming teabag.
Teabag with a burn.
That's what I'm talking about.
Might need to get that one checked, though. 12-4. Last round available now. It looks like VP are about to walk away with a very swift 2-0 victory.
Yeah, it really does. They've got 8 chances to close this series out. Head back to the hotel, get some rest. Norbert just trying to turn from anti-flash, taking a lot of damage, but Fame's got his back, and oh man.
Oh, good night.
Slaughtered, absolutely shut down.
Just as we all knew, VP to take a victory versus Complexity. 2-0 as well. They're coming out looking strong after the player break. And Complexity have work to do. They're heading down into the resurrection bracket, and they're hoping they can find life at the Esports World Cup yet. But Virtus.pro, their opening game of the Esports World Cup, results in victory over Complexity.
Thank you very much, guys. A sad day for Complexity, but a very positive day for Virtus.pro. They even got